to Casting On with me, Bethany, or Naughty Girl Crochet. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future videos. I'm trying to do these Casting On sort of podcast style videos kind of once a month near the end of the month as a kind of wrap up of this is what I finished, this is what I'm starting, this is any yarn that arrived, which there's a lot this month. As I said in my last episode, I bought a lot of pre-order yarn, and it just happened that it was coming in like bursts of a couple batches would arrive at a time, and so a large amount arrived this past month, well, since I filmed the last episode, so I have a ton of yarn to show you. Not so many whips or finished objects, but one finished object, you can see him, how am I pointing? In the corner there. I made a little crocheted frosty for our apartment. I'm not good at like amigurumi or however you say it, like the stuffies. It hurts my hands even if it's big yarn, so it took me a little while to make him. I didn't really follow a pattern, I just kind of, you know, freestyled him, I guess. He could be a little better, but you know, he's cute, he's holding up, he hasn't fallen apart yet, which is great. I did give myself quite a burn on my thumb with the hot glue gun when I was trying to, because first I tried to sew the buttons on, it wasn't staying, so I put a little bit of hot glue, and I missed the button and squirted the hot glue right on my thumb. So that was fun for the first few days, trying to knit with a blister on my thumb, but it's all healed now. But that's what happens when you work with a hot glue gun. At least for me. So let's hop into finished objects. Like I said, I don't have many, but I do have this pair of Christmas socks that I made with the Hobby Universal yarn that I showed in the last video. I also now on my channel have a video on how I block my socks, and I use these as the example, and it won't look like it now. They are blocked. I've worn them several times, so they're a little bit, you know, not really stretched out, but you know what I mean. They're worn. Oh my god, I completely forgot to mention my sweater, which I put it on so I could talk about it, and then I forgot. This is the Spellman sweater by Dragon Horde Yarn. I'll link the pattern down below. This is one of the first intricate I can speak English, I promise, intricate sweaters that I knit. And it's so it's fingering weight held with a mohair. So for the mohair I used Sugar Bush Chill, and the yarn was actually some of the first yarn that I dyed. I have to like cover my face or it won't focus. As you can see, the arm has cables and baubles running all the way down it, and it starts right up the collar. So let's rewind. I knit this over a year ago. I wore it for the first time this week. I knit it last winter. I put it in the closet. It was nearing the end of the season. Didn't weave in the ends. I was like, I'll do it eventually. I'll do it eventually. I didn't touch this for a year. So this week I was like, I need to get better about actually wearing my knit sweaters. I pulled this one out. I wove in the ends a year later and wore it for the first time this week. And it's super comfortable. And it's interesting though. I've learned so much since I knit this sweater. There's so many things that I'm like, oh, I would have done it this way. I would have done that a little bit different. But I still love it. And I really like the fact that it's, you know, it's made out of yarn that I dyed. I didn't write the recipe down, so I cannot replicate it. So just truly one of a kind. But I really like it. And when I knit this, I swore I was never knitting another sweater again that had cables and bobbles because it was so tricky. And I think part of the reason it was so tricky is at that point I hadn't learned really either magic loop or I hadn't been working with 9-inch circulars. So trying to knit the sleeves was a pain. I'm pretty sure I used 16-inch circulars and just had the sleeves like stretched to their maximum. And it was brutal. I hated doing it. But like I said, I've learned so much in the past year and learned different styles of knitting that I really want to make. Dragon Horde Yarn has another sweater called, I think it's called the Salem sweater. And it's similar to this in that it's a raglan with a different style cable and bobbles running down the sleeves, but it's one of those, I don't know if I'm saying this correctly, dolman, the like batwing sweaters, one that have the really deep armholes, and it's more of a cape-like situation. Anyway, I really want to knit that. I feel like I'll have a much easier time this time around, especially since I'll be able to use 9-inch circulars for the sleeves, or magic loop, whichever I decide to do. But I have yarn, fingering weight yarn that I want to use for it, but I need to get some mohair because there's another sweater that is mohair held with fingering. So I ordered some this past weekend from Polka Dot Creek. She was having like free shipping, you know, through Black Friday to Cyber Monday. Speaking of Black Friday, I also bought some yarn from Homespun House. I didn't need it, but I wanted it. They were having free worldwide shipping, so I snagged some. Yeah, I bought 2 sock sets. I think Land of Lost Toys and Hoogalation? Something about the Grinch and Hoogle. Anyway, I bought ones that they had Christmassy names, but they're not Christmassy. Like I will be able to knit them whenever they arrive, and no one will look at it and be like, "You're wearing Christmas socks in July." Not that I'd be wearing knit socks in July. Anyway, whatever. I can wear them year round if I want to, because they don't look super Christmassy. So what's the other thing I finished? Oh yes, I got all off track. So the other thing that I finished, I blocked it and weaved in my ends right away, which is, so I finished the satellite shawl that I had been working on. So let's see if I can show you. This is by Andrea Mowry. It has sections of just garter stripes, followed by short rows, followed by brioche. Oh, there's a brioche. This was the first brioche section. I had frogged it a couple times, and then I still messed it up again. I was like, I'm not doing it again. I'm just continuing on. But I did get better, as you can see, as it went on. The next brioche section, much better. But yeah, I had a lot of fun knitting this. Towards the end, it was getting a little bit like, I need to finish this. Like, this just needs to be over. So I did rush it a little bit towards the end, and I ended up like knitting for hours, and my hand was sore, and I had, you know, I didn't do a lot of knitting yesterday because my hand was so sore from just trying to get this off the needles. I did run out of yarn towards the end, so my last short row section is literally about 1/4 of what it's supposed to be, because I was running out of the main color, and I knew that was going to happen because the main color I used was an oak skein, and I only had one of it, so I knew that was going to happen. But it's such a massive shawl, it's fine. As you can see, like when I wrap, there's more than enough room for me to wrap this. It being a couple rows short is not an issue. But I'm looking forward to wearing this. It's super cozy. All of the yarn in this is Leo and Roxy. So the white main color, like I said, was an oak skein. The purple is their from their basics line, and then the turquoise one I think was called Tranquil. But yeah, so I enjoyed this. First time doing brioche and I-cord. So really like this. We'll keep it nice and warm. Those are my two finished objects. I am working on a sweater design, but I don't want to show it because I'm not feeling it right now. I got to the point where I need to split for the sleeves, and I'm like, you need to split for the sleeves, knit a couple rows, and then try it on before you decide if you're frogging it or not. And then I'm still working on the cardigan for my husband. I just have the sleeves left. Yeah, so my only other whip is more Christmas socks. So I am attempting 2 at a time. So more of the Universal Sparkle Christmas yarn from Hobby. The cuffs are a mini that was in the one of my row 1 mini monthly subscription bags. I don't remember what it's called. I think it was called Jabberwocky, but I don't remember who by. I'm bad for just throwing out the labels off of those and not thinking about it. Honestly, I don't think I'll ever knit 2 at a time socks again. I'm not enjoying it. It's slow. I'm slower than... I could have knit these 2 socks separately and gotten faster. Like, I'm at the point where I'm contemplating, do I just move one sock off onto another needle and knit them separately, because I just want to get them done. I feel like I've been knitting these forever. It's such a slow go. I got the yarn tangled multiple times and had to keep like cutting it, unraveling it, reattaching it. It's a pain. I'm not enjoying the 2 at a time. I'm glad I tried it. It was something that I had tried early on in my sock knitting adventures and couldn't get it at all. So it's like, you know what? Figured it out, tried it, don't like it. I will literally never knit 2 at a time again. I know it. I'm faster with 1 needle. But yeah, so may or may not have another pair of socks by Christmas. At the rate I'm going, probably not. Maybe they'll be for next year. But, so that's it for things I'm working on. I was part of a winter sock swap, and in it I got a Advent self-striping sock yarn, and the way it works is you, starting December 1st, you knit 1 stripe a day. So I'll be starting that tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that. It's my first time doing, I've had Advents, but I've never had self-striping sock Advents, because I mean, this is the first year I've ever knit socks. So I'm looking forward to that. So you'll see that in the next video, because it'll be January, so I'll be finished those. Yeah, so let's get into some of the yarn that arrived in the last month. So one of the first packages to arrive was, where are they? The A Court of Thorns and Roses by Teeny Button Studios. So I got these 3. I keep putting these off camera. So I got, this one is Don't Let the Hard Days Win, and I got it in DK. I got Court of Foxes in Pumpkin Shimmer. And this one wasn't part of the A Court of Thorns and Roses collections, but I just liked it. It's called Roots in My Dreamland in Soft Sock. It's kind of like a nice deep foresty green. So that was the first set to arrive. Second set to arrive, I didn't plan on buying these. It was a impulse purchase. I saw that Sorella was having a Salem themed collection for Halloween. I ordered a ton. didn't even know she was having this. I just saw it and was like, take my money. So I bought a sweater quantities worth of the Coven in DK. It's kind of like this black. It's showing up, yeah, it's kind of like grayish black with an undertone of like an olive color, I want to say. And I bought, to go with it, one skein for contrast in 1692. It's like this goldy brownish green. So bought a sweater quantity and some contrast to go with it. I also bought a skein of sock yarn in this 1962 as well. And I bought another skein of classic sock in Sarah Good. I love this one. This one is so pretty. So we're chucking along here. Then I've become obsessed with self-striping sock yarn. I've bought so much. I bought my first order from Desert Vista Dye Works. Now, I bought from the Halloween collection. She is super popular and she was definitely backlogged, so I didn't get them before Halloween. I just got them, I think, week before last maybe. But I don't care. I'll wear Halloween socks year round, so it doesn't matter to me. And they're not all of them are super Halloween-y, if that makes sense. The first one is though. So I got all the ones I bought were from a collection called Zombody. She has tons of different collections. Definitely go check her out if you like self-striping sock yarn. She's awesome. So the first one I got is Zombody Says Boo. And then I got Zombody Bobbin for Apples. Franken Zombody. And I couldn't pass this one up. I had to get it. Reese's Zombody Cups. I am obsessed with Reese's peanut butter cups. So how could I not get a peanut butter cup themed yarn? Like, how could I not? So that is that is a lot of yarn. But yeah, it's a lot of yarn. There's not much more I can say about that. It is a full arm's worth, and I don't even have it all here because, like I said, I got sweater quantity of this guy. But super happy, love it all. I'm super excited to work with it. There's one more pre-order to come. And that's from Red Door Roofs, her A Court of Thorns and Roses collection. I think that's the last one left that I bought, like, during that, like, massive shopping spree of pre-orders. And, yeah, that is everything I've been working on, starting, and what arrived in the mail this month. So, please, like I said, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. If you have any comments or suggestions you want to leave down below about what types of videos you'd like to see, please let me know. Yeah, thank you for watching.